Hello everybody and welcome back to another mystery box function challenge. In this purple box there is some mystery math and your challenge is to figure out what that math is. You can use the link in the description, pause the video and put in as many numbers as you like in the top and see how they come out transformed at the bottom, and they'll be charted here, your ins and outs in this little chart, and even be graphed as ordered pairs. You can use all of those things as clues to figure out what the math is in that purple box. So give it a try and then come on back and listen to the rest of the video and see if you get what I get. All right, let's begin. I'm going to put in a 0. Oh goodness, so 0 gives us negative 51. Not going to be on the graph here. Let's maybe try a 1, see if that's on the graph. Oh, 1 is even further away, so way down at negative 101. Maybe if we go in the negative direction, we might see something. So there we go. We got negative 1, so that's a point. Let's try negative 2. Maybe that's on the graph as well. Oh boy, so negative 2 is all the way up at 49, so definitely not on the graph. Now, I could fool around with some fractional values between 0 and negative 1, or maybe between negative 1 and negative 2, and see if I can find some more points on this graph. I think, however, we might have everything we need here in this set of values. And I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I noticed that when we went from 0 to 1, that's up, well, that's over 1, we went down from negative 51 to negative 101. That's down 50. And let's actually think about this as a slope. So slope is rise over run. So our rise was a negative 50. We went down 50, so it's a negative rise. And our run was 1. Now let's look at this pair here. I'm going from negative 1 to negative 2. That's going in a negative direction 1. And then I went from negative 1 up to 49. That's a positive 50. So that would be 50 over negative 1. And these two are the same. So if I've got two sets of points and they're both showing the same rate of change, the same slope, I think I've got a line. And I think my slope is this, negative 50 over 1, or just negative 50. So y equals negative 50x. And then what is our y-intercept? Well, our y-intercept is where x equals 0. And we actually had that right there. It was the first one we put in. So that value is negative 51. So this should be negative 50 minus 51. I'd like to just test this with another point. So what would I get if, say, I put in 2? I would get negative 50 times 2 minus 51. So that's negative 100 minus 51. It should be negative 151. So let's go ahead and put in 2 and see if we get that. Yep, a negative 151. So I think we've got this. I think this is our function. I wrote it with a y, but we can see it's the same thing with f of x, negative 50x minus 51. And when we graph that, we get this really steep line. It almost looks like it's a vertical line. It's not quite. You can see it veers a little bit away from that line, x equals negative 1 there, to the left at the top and a little bit to the right at the bottom. But that is a line with an extremely steep negative slope. Well, how did that go for you? Did these big numbers throw you off, or were you able to see that this is a linear function? Let me know. Thanks, everybody.